Reviewing a game like Destiny 2 is fraught with complications. A dedicated player could probably complete the main storyline within a day, 2 at the most. But the campaign's end is where Destiny 2 really begins, with a wealth of endgame content spread across its massive world. From the strikes to player versus player battles to the almighty raid, generally considered the best part of Destiny, it would be exhausting to try to cover the entire game in a timely fashion. Impossible even. The raid isn't even available yet. But there is still plenty to say about Destiny 2, its gameplay, and its world. Firstly, it is a striking game to look at and to listen to. Somehow, Bungie has managed to make an even better looking game than the first Destiny, and I am seriously in awe that the Xbox One can handle it at all. A varied color palette, mesmerizing vistas, impressive particle effects, and a rich diversity of friends and foes leads to a world that feels more alive than that of the first game. There's a prodigious amount of detail crammed into virtually every corner of every location, so that wherever you look, there is something interesting to see. Destiny 2 provides one of the most visually arresting experiences you can have within a virtual world. As with the first Destiny, all of this visual fidelity does come at the cost of frame rate, which is locked at 30 frames per second on the console. A part of me wishes Bungie would have dialed back the detail in order to hit 60 frames per second, but the more I play the game, the more I realize that would have been a mistake. It is that meticulous attention to detail that makes Destiny, well, Destiny. The quality of the visuals is what pulls you into the world and keeps you there. Could it still benefit from a faster frame rate? Oh, absolutely. But does the game suffer greatly for being locked at 30 frames per second? And no, I don't think it does. Destiny 2's sound design is another major win. One of the game's key successes in audio comes in the form of what I'll call implied realism, whereby fictional objects that don't exist in our world still sound real. Based on the look and function of any given object, we have certain expectations for how it should sound. The right sound reinforces our understanding of that object, whereas the wrong sound can lead to a breakdown in our suspension of disbelief. Scripted audio, from voice acting to music, is also improved. In fact, the music may have been the first thing that really struck me about this game. It is incredibly well done, and there's ample variety. As for gameplay, well, the core gameplay loop in any Destiny game is built around the acquisition of loot. Destiny 2's loot system, though, feels both faster and fairer than the first game. All types of activities provide a steady stream of goodies, and more often than not, the loot received will be an upgrade over what you have, at least in terms of power level. But there is something more important than loot to Destiny 2's gameplay that people seem to rarely talk about: the intrinsic rewards. While Destiny has always had great gunplay and a solid combat loop, the pre-Taken King version of the game lacked variety. After a while, gameplay stopped being fun. The loot rewards were the only rewards. The problem with such a system is that players can burn out. Acquiring loot alone does not make the game fun, at least not for long. Destiny 2, I am pleased to report, is much more intrinsically rewarding than the first game. Core gameplay is incredibly similar, but there is simply more variety. Drop onto any planet or moon, and there are at least 3 different things going on in your direct vicinity, from public events to patrols and the new adventures, to hunting down high-powered enemies who will drop treasure chests if you can defeat them. There is also more story woven into all aspects of the game, which makes it feel like you're actually accomplishing something. The main story quest, which I won't delve too far into, is very good. Characters feel real, their motivations are clear, and the climactic ending sparks new questions into the nature of the very centerpiece of Destiny's lore, the Traveler.
For years I have studied it.
Overall, I am really enjoying this game. It is a technical achievement on many levels, with an attention to detail that is just mind-boggling. There are small things that still leave me wanting, like the jump ships, which are still used for absolutely nothing but fancy load screens. But overall, I just can't wait to jump back in and play more.